Hello and thank you for viewing. As you can see by this wanted poster, I'm going to be doing a 5-star legendary bounty. I'm going to be running it solo. We have a cutscene here, so I'm going to shut up while it plays, just in case you want to listen to it. It's a pretty neat cutscene.
Ah, Barbarella Alcazar, our bandit queen. Sooner her bloody reign comes to an end, the better, I'd say. I'm a mite sad I ain't gonna be the one to bring her down myself. Let's see. She came over this side of the San Luis with a bunch of men, Del Lobos for the most part. And there ain't been no let-up and bloodshed since. I think they're all held up at that old mine, Gaptooth Breach. Unless you're real delicate, I would expect a confrontation with this lady.
Something to keep in mind when you're running these missions is the duration of the mission has an effect on the payout. The longer the mission, the more you get paid. So I like to come in and get my weapons ready, get my cards ready, prepare things once I've already started the mission. That way I'm getting paid for that extra time that I'm spending in the mission. Even at the end of the mission, it's a good idea to get down off the wagon and craft some split points, restock your split points, things like that. Increase your payout by doing something that you got to do anyway. And then the cards I'm using is Quite an Inspiration, Kick in the Butt, Cold Blooded, and the Unblinking Eye. Quite an Inspiration heals me when I turn Deadeye on. Kick in the Butt gives me more Deadeye when I'm taking damage, and Kick in the Butt does work when Deadeye is activated. And you can see I'm using a pistol and a revolver, as well as a repeater and the Carcano, because I'm going to be doing a lot of sniping. And I don't go with the sawed-offs because when I'm carrying a bounty over my shoulder, I want to have that extra range and the precision of a pistol or a revolver versus a shotgun, so I can reach out and get headshots on NPCs that might be coming at me from distance. Now, you're going to absolutely need a bounty wagon in order to do this solo successfully. The idea is you want to capture all 3 targets alive and get them in the wagon in order to maximize payouts. And when you call your wagon, it spawns behind you. So I'm coming to this particular point and I'm looking away from where I want it to spawn in order to get it to spawn in a particular spot, which is right where I'm going to load the first bounty into. And coming over here, I noticed there's an NPC walking down that road. This is actually the first time I've noticed that NPC there. I've ran this mission numerous times. After you're done running it, give it like 15-20 minutes, you'll be able to go back to the bounty board, get it again. You can keep running this mission over and over all week long, which is great. I really like this. It's a lot of fun. You can see I stealth killed that guy, so they still don't even know I'm there. And that was the idea. If I didn't stealth kill that guy, I think I would have been in a lot of trouble. But fortunately, it worked out. And then run up here, you can see this is already one of the bounty targets. As soon as I start getting hit, I'm going to want to turn on Deadeye in order to start healing that up. You see how well that works? I'm already full health. I just took some damage. I'm going to turn it off to try and conserve Deadeye, but if I get hit again, I like to turn it back on. It would be a shame to die because I didn't heal up a sliver of health. Sometimes these guys hit really hard. There's some out there with sniper rifles. This mission is no joke, folks. These NPCs hurt when they hit you, and there's a lot of them hitting you. Fortunately, this spot here, I have yet to die putting one in the wagon. So good luck with this for you. I hope it works out as well for you as it does for me. This method thus far, though, has been a very successful method for me. And then another thing, when you get back in the wagon, we're going to reposition it. We're going to go around to a sniper spot. It's important not to get too far away from the other bounties. If you do, it will pop up and say they got away because you got too far away from them. Even though they're not on the run, you move too far away from them, and that triggers a failure. So make sure you don't get too far away from them. The zones that you're seeing me in, though, are relatively safe, but just don't go thinking you can take this one bounty into Tumbleweed, turn it in, and come back and get these other 2. They'll still be here. They won't. Now you can see this sniper spot. It looks over this entire area. It's marvelous for this mission. And I like to clear up the northern area first. Once we get the northern plateau here cleared up, the guys down below, down by the mine, we don't really need to worry about them until a little later. And you can see where the other 2 bounties are on the map as well. You can see them. They're on your mini-map. And I just noticed right now, well, I didn't notice yet, but you can see on the mini-map one of the bounties is dead. And that's a darn shame, because a dead bounty means a lesser payout. And when I was actually playing this mission, I'm going to notice here, just 1 second, you're going to see me notice it. I'm looking, I see it on the radar now, and I open up the map, and I look over, and I see that it's dead. Now, when I was playing this mission, I thought, you know what? Whatever. I'm going to go over, I'm going to collect the dead body, I'm going to turn it in, I'm just going to record me running another 5-star mission a different time, and I'll put that up on YouTube. But I came over, and I found the body had burned to death in a fire. Now, this is actually the second time this has happened to me, but it's the first time I've come over to actually see why. The first time it happened, I just restarted the mission, as I'm doing right now. So I couldn't even pick that guy up out of the fire and put him in the wagon if I wanted to. There was no option even to pick him up. So I restarted the mission, come back over, start from fresh. I fast forward to the first part here, because you've already seen this, I've already explained all this. And the wagon didn't spawn in the exact spot, but it was close, so I just reposition it to where I want before I start aggroing everybody. You see, I still haven't got an aggro yet. I'm not going to get aggro until this bounty target sees me. Now, the gunfight's going to start. Again, just time up, rinse and repeat. Same as I did last time. I'm going to go back over to that sniper spot. This time I accidentally picked his hat up, but hey, it's a pretty neat hat. I've done that before. Ran this mission. This will be the second time coming out with this hat. You will get to keep his hat afterwards if that's a hat you like. Any hat that's on your head afterwards, I believe, will follow you out of the mission. And this is a solo lobby situation. There are no other players in the lobby right now. It's similar to a story mission, these legendary bounties. I don't know that you can talk to the butcher though. Like I don't really know. I didn't really test any of that. That would be interesting. And as you can see, there's no timer. And I haven't ran it out to see what the duration is before it would fail or whatnot. Like, I would expect at some point, if you waited long enough, a timer would appear. But I have yet to encounter that timer. Now just head back up to the same spot I was at before. You're gonna see here. Okay, watch my Deadeye as it drains down when I take damage. Right there. Did you see the Deadeye increase? As I take damage, I get more Deadeye. Boom, more Deadeye. And then the Deadeye turns around and gives me more health. That is kicking the butt and quite an inspiration working together perfectly for you. Gotta love that. You really gotta love that. I mean, like, you know, I know Slow and Steady's a tank and stuff, but you can't sprint with it. These two cards combined together make you tanky too, and you can sprint while you're doing it. I really like these two cards together. Now in PvP, I don't know how well they work. They might work really well in PvP too. I really should try them out in PvP sometime. Because quite an inspiration heals not only you, but your entire posse. So if I had a posse in here, when I turn it on, it heals the entire posse. If I was in showdowns and in a posse and I turn it on, it's going to heal the entire posse. I'm very curious what would happen if there are people in your posse on the other team in showdowns. And I've never tested it in showdowns, so, you know, for all I know, the game might be broken and it doesn't work in showdowns. In theory, it should work in showdowns too. It definitely works in free roam and story missions for posse. It should work in here too. Now, sometimes the third bounty, Alcazar, the lady that we're here for, she'll be in 3 different positions at the end of this mission. The first position is up on top of this tower. The base of the tower you can see in the scope right now. Sometimes she's at the top of that tower. That can be difficult getting her down without killing her. I found the best way is to put her on my shoulder and jump down where the ladder is and just hope for the best. That's worked for me twice. I haven't managed to get her down any other way. I tried just throwing her down. She ended up dying. You can't throw her over the railing. So, like, that's a difficult spot to get her out of. The second spot is where you're going to see me pick her up at during this mission, which is the shack down by the tracks at the bottom of the hill. And then her third position will be in the mine itself. However, sometimes she grabs a horse and runs off. And that can be a tough one because your horse, you can't call it because you have your wagon out. So what I would recommend is kill the horses. Prevent her from being able to get away. And there's a horse sometimes, if she's in that tower that I just showed you to the right, there will be a horse tied up at the base of the tower. Take that horse out. There is right now a horse at that shack over there. I would recommend taking that one out, and then there'll be a horse outside the entrance of the mine as well. I'd recommend taking that one out so she has no escape. Because, like I said, if she hops on a horse, the only thing you're going to be able to do is hopefully shoot the horse in order to stop her. And then you're going to be on foot chasing her while you have all these other NPCs chasing after you. You're better off just taking the horse out before she gets to it. You know, I've cleared this northern area up, which means I can just run over and grab this second bounty just as easy as I did the first one. He's down in that little area right over the ridge, and there aren't any other NPCs over here right now that are going to attack me except for him. I've got full health, full deadeye. I haven't used any tonics at all yet, by the way. This is a zero tonic build, running these. Like, you don't even really need tonics with this build. It looks so good. Boom. Tie him up. And you can get back up that ridge while carrying him. I'm about to show you the route to take in order to get back up this ridge while carrying a bounty.
Come on, leave it.
I am getting hit just a little bit. I took a little bit of fire because the longer you're over here, those NPCs that want to shoot you will reposition and come and get a line of sight. So you want to make this quick. You don't want to be slow about it. You come over to where you just saw me. You can come right up that hill, walk that line, come around this corner, and you're good to go. You'll get back up to your wagon, load this bounty in the wagon, and then we'll start working on actually collecting the target. And, you know, in general, this wagon is good where it's at. You don't really need to move it. I decided I wanted to kind of like back it up a little bit and get a little closer, but then I started taking damage and I realized, you know what, this is a really bad idea. See those guys all down there? They got sniper rifles that would line of sight on me. I almost got wrecked there. It was really close. Had I not had a gold core for my health, I probably would have ended up dead there. Be better off next time just leaving the wagon where it's at and coming around and working to collect this other bounty. Now, I've been playing around with trying to like see if is it better to leave one NPC behind, or is it better to clear them all out. I feel like there are times where I've left one NPC alive before capturing the last bounty, and it seemed to prevent the respawn. Because if you kill all these and then you grab her, or I don't want to say if, I want to say when you kill all of these NPCs, or even just when you grab her, there is a chance of a whole bunch of NPCs respawning. Like, there are times where I've grabbed her and there wasn't a respawn. See, I'm going to kill this horse right now so that she can't hop on it and get away. But there are times where I've tied her up and grabbed her, put her in the wagon, no problem at all getting the tumbleweed. And there are other times I grab her up and I get ambushed by an endless number of NPCs. I can't really figure out exactly what causes that. If there's a trigger, like if I kill all the NPCs or if I leave one behind. I haven't done this mission more than like, I don't know, a half dozen times now on the 5-star version. So I'm not really 100% sure exactly of how things work as far as the end game and preventing masses of NPCs from spawning. But it can be very difficult at the end if you're not ready for it, because you can get ambushed. Especially if she's in the mine, because you tie her up in the mine. By the time you get out of the mine, if there's a respawn, then you're probably going to want to set her down and fight some of that respawn off before trying to get to the wagon. You can see there's quite a few far out NPCs. A lot of them are running with sniper rifles, and I figured those ones are probably the biggest threat right now, because if they hit me with like a Carcano or something, that's going to take the biggest chunk of health off me. So I'm trying to take care of them first, and I keep getting hit, like I keep getting shot. I'm like, what's going on here? I realize there's a guy behind me, and he actually got behind me good. I didn't even know exactly where, and then I find him here. I don't usually have that happen either. first that I've let one get behind me like that. I'm not sure exactly where he came from. He might have came from down below, up that walkway, down right in front of me. I just didn't notice. And you may or may not have noticed that my Evans repeater is at 0 condition. I don't clean it. And that's because mainly go for headshots for the majority of the time with the Evans repeater. The only time I don't really go for headshots is like in a situation like there where I'm just bodying someone and I just don't even care. The guy's already knocked down, just, you know, like going for the headshot, why bother? But the majority of the time I want a headshot. And the condition of the weapon does not affect accuracy. It only affects damage and fire rate. It doesn't affect accuracy. It affects, you know, reload speed, things like that, but not accuracy. So if I'm going for headshots, I don't need to worry about damage. You know, I don't need to worry about reload speed and whatnot. I mean, like you could argue that reload speed matters, but to me, I just don't feel like it does to me. So I just save the gun oil. I save the time cleaning it. I leave my Evans repeater dirty. Now the sniper rifle, on the other hand, there are times where I want to just body somebody at distance. The headshot just is like really hard to get. So I do keep my sniper rifle clean. There's just some insight to why I have a dirty Evans and clean sniper rifle, in case you picked up on that. See right there, that's, you know, I'm getting the headshot. I have the accuracy. I'm getting the one-shot kill when I get the headshot. You're not going to, you know, you don't need to double shot the headshot usually. I don't think you need a double shot headshot on DCs at all. There we go. And be careful, because she's in that shack, and you can get an aim assist right there. I didn't want to take that shot because she's in that window there. If I would have taken that shot, it might have been possible that I killed the bounty, which is going to be a lesser payout for me. Definitely don't want to do that. So be careful taking those shots that you don't kill her. And she sometimes comes out of that shack and runs into the mine. So it's not always just inside that window. You have to be careful at this point in the game that you're not shooting her anywhere on the map, because she could be running across that ground in order to get in the mine. However, when she does, if you listen to what they're saying, she will actually tell her gang that she's going into the mine and to hold out. So you should have some warning there if you'll hear her talking. Now that NPC, I might have been better off leaving alive, and that might have helped prevent the others from respawning, but like I said, I'm not really 100% sure about that. And two, I don't really mind the challenge of having the respawn. It makes it a little more fun to me to have them rush me after I take them down. I mean, like, it would be just kind of boring to, at this point, have one NPC, I throw on my back, I run off, you know. I like the challenge. I like the challenge. This is not something I really care to try and cheese. You know, I mean, like, you could say sniping's cheesing, I guess. But really, I just feel like it's a smart play. It's a good time. I'm taking damage up there. I have my ability cards to support the sniping, like the heals, the, you know, Deadeye on damage, the health on kill. It's a really good setup. And when I throw her in the wagon, it's going to tell me to go around the north end of Tumbleweed. But that is a long way about it. I like to ignore the yellow path, cut across, and come up through the south into Tumbleweed in order to drop the delivery off. Which you're going to see that I do. And here we go. That's all 3 bounties captured alive. Not a single tonic used. Good times, folks, good times. That's using Kick in the Butt is one of the new ability cards that he got with the Summer DLC. And and it's kind of fun to be able to feature this and show you guys it working. I do have all of my ability cards, Tier 3. I've had them Tier 3 since like day 3 of the update. And it's the first time I've really got to showcase one of them. It was a pleasure bringing this to you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Down the road, I will be doing some live streams where I'm going to be running these missions live, solo. And in between missions, I'll be running and doing trader work, keeping my camp stocked, running deliveries, running supply missions. Then if the bounty hasn't respawned, I'll even run an odd bounty mission that's not legendary, waiting for the legendary respawn. But, you know, other than that, just be running these back to back like every 30 minutes or so. I figure maybe every 45 hour tops, be able to run one of these. It depends on how long you're in the mission, how quick you'd be able to run them, how many per hour. Because they might respawn like every 15 minutes that you're out. I don't know. You know what, it might be every 48 minutes. Let's say it might be 40 minutes. Let's say you spend 30 minutes in the mission, then you have 18 minutes to wait for the respawn, something like that. I don't know. I haven't figured out the respawn exactly yet. My guess would be 48 minutes because that's what a lot of things are in game. Like the stranger missions and stuff are all on 48-minute timers. So I'll have to pay more attention to that in the future. Maybe have an idea then. But hey, I got them turned in. Success. And then I like to set it back to defensive mode because it takes you out of defensive mode. But you see I got 0.36 gold, 975 XP, like $100 cash, I think maybe 90, I don't know. Set it in defensive mode, and then I hop sessions. Immediately just hop sessions, because I find after these legendary missions, a lot of things are bugged. Other players don't show up on the map. You know, it's a lot of things are bugged. The camp's not working right. Just hop sessions afterwards. You'll be good to go. Thanks everyone for coming in, viewing, commenting, subscribing, liking, sharing. Especially thank you everyone for joining and donating. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. I'll catch you next time. Until then, happy hunting and happy trails.